YouTube Tuesday, session 135. Apologize, I'm a little late here. Apparently the app updated, and as I went to start my video, my screen froze and it disconnected me. So this is take two. Hopefully this works. So if you were there live with me, please let me know in the comments, so I know that I'm not just talking to myself. Anyways, happy Tuesday to you all. It's a real pretty day out. We have a light layer of snow, and we've had some really pretty fluffy flakes flying through the air this afternoon. So nice winter day here. And we're going to think spring though. And hi, Garrett. Hey, babe. My husband's on too. All right, good. So we got a couple people watching. So take two is going well so far. So like I said, we are going to think spring. And I'm going to share with you a couple of simple cards from the Fancy Flora collection. It's here on pages like 14 through 17 of the mini catalog. And the Fancy Flora collection is actually the basis for the tutorial bundle that we have been working on with my Create With Us International Tutorial Group. So I'm excited to share those with you. So anyone that places an order with me of $50 or more will be able to get those tutorials that I send out each month. So I'm excited for that. This collection is nice. It has actually 2 stamp sets and 2 sets of dies that go with it, as well as some really pretty designer series paper. It is a 6x6 pack. So since I've been using so much of that, oh good, Karen just ordered the paper. So I actually keep mine in a quart size Ziploc baggie because that way I can see the back and all the colors that are here in the paper, but it keeps all of those loose pieces, which I have cut down and used on different sizes for cards and things like that. Keeps them all nice and contained without getting the corners bent and things like that. So quick and easy solution for you there is use a quart size bag for your 6x6 designer series paper. But I've got a couple of really beautiful cards, and I'm going to show you these stamps, the 2-step stamping with the flowers, the nice little sentiment labels that we have, and show you that this collection, because it's really beautiful, and some of the dies are very intricate. There's a lot of pieces and things, but I'm going to simplify it and just show you it doesn't have to be crazy complicated, that you can still make sweet and simple cards with this collection. Hey Terry, glad you are doing well. All right, thanks for joining me live. I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera here so that we can get started. All right, so since today is the last day of January, the 31st here, I've actually got 2 little host codes. So if anybody wants to sneak in and order today, my January host code here is the 9XN XPUKG. I'm going to close that out later today. And then my February host code, so will be EPDMNTX4. And I'll be sending that out in my monthly newsletter tomorrow. Okay, so let me show you these papers close up. Like I said, it's a 6x6 pack, and I do have some of these remaining in the 6x6 size. But it's neat because they're like an abstract paint, kind of a landscape print. Sort of reminds me a little bit of like Monet's garden. It's like with the water lilies. Different prints, and then the back sides are all like paint strokes in monochromatic colors. So it's a really pretty print. That one's florals. All neat patterns. This is actually the one I'm going to use on one of the cards today. All right, so lots of fun patterns in here, and of course I've been using them in different sizes, so I've got quite a few cut down to the 2x6 strips in here, which I've been using for different things. All right, so that's the paper pack. Then the first stamp set here is Two-Tone Flora, which has the 2-step stamping. So you would stamp your solid image and then your detailed over top, so you can get kind of a 2-tone look with that. So you've got all the dies. This particular bundle also comes with this amazing background die, I'm going to share just a quick card with you. This is not one we're going to make today, but this is one that my mom actually designed. So kudos to my mom. Using the background stamp here, we cut out a little bit of a frame and then cut out a layer here of this intricate die. And then when she watercolored the background there in our orchid oasis, and then just added a couple sentiments. Isn't that pretty? So that's a nice, simple way to use that ornate background die. Now, I will let you know ahead of time, this die is very intricate, and depending on how new or how tightly wound your cotton emboss machine or your Big Shot or whatever it is you're using, you might need to adjust your thickness for that. I actually pulled out my old steel ruled plate. This was the precision base plate that we used to sell with the Big Shot. So I actually used this so that we could get a cleaner cut. So just a heads up on that. Really beautiful, but you do need to work it just a little bit. And then you have the die cuts here for the flowers and the leaves. And then the second bundle here in this collection is called Something Fancy, with beautiful sentiments. And then this one has all kinds of different size labels. These little pieces allow you to create toppers for little tags and things. We've got a hexagon in there, a nice little sentiment piece. So it's fun just to have a nice variety of labels for your sentiments and things. So we're going to be using basically all of the both bundles here for our cards today. So we're going to do first one, like I said, they're both really quite simple. So for our first one here, and some of you who are on my Creative Cardiology team may recognize this card. We did this actually as a make and take for one of our team meetings. And we are starting out here with a card base of Pool Party. Of course, I love this color. All right. Let's see. Karen says she got the Brushed Blossom bundle to go with it. Nice, nice. Yeah, so there's a lot of things, especially with the paper being kind of just different brush strokes and so many colors in here. You really could pair anything with that. And it all looks good. Love that. All right, so our card base here, hey Janelle, hello, hello, is Pool Party. Of course, 5.5 by 8.5. And then, oops, I lost my phone folder here in the pile. All right, so we're going to fold this in half here at 4 1/4. Okay, so we'll just keep that nice and tidy. Okay, so for our next little piece, I actually cut a contrasting layer of Orchid Oasis. I really like that color combination of the Pool Party with the orchid. Might not be something that you'd normally think of, but I thought it was a fun combination. So this little piece is just 1.5 inches by 4 1/4. And I'm going to apply my adhesive here. And this is going to go right across the front of the card, about 1.5 inches up from the bottom there. All right. Next, we are going to pull in some of our Fancy Flora Designer Series paper. Now, this piece is 2 inches by 5. And because this pattern has kind of this solid petal pink at one end, I'm actually going to flip it this way so that my flowers are at the top. And then this kind of more plain section is across the middle, where I'm going to add my sentiment label and my flowers here. All right, so we're going to add this on top. Again, this is just 2 by 5. So you can see why I had so many of my patterns cut into 2-inch strips here. So you can make a ton of cards. The 6 by 6 pack is a 48 sheet. I do have a new pack here too. This is 48 sheets of 6 by 6, and there's so many colors here in it. This is what the full sheet looks like. Isn't that beautiful? It's one of my favorites. Okay, so now for our sentiment label, and then I've got a piece of basic white here somewhere. I was going to do my stamping on. Oh, there we go. And then, of course, piece for the inside. Can't forget that. Let's go ahead and stick that inside right now before I lose it somewhere here on this desk. All right, so this insert is just 4 by 5 1/4. I stick that right inside. All right. Okay, so let's decide on a sentiment here. They're all so nice. I'm thinking, how about this? You matter to so many. Sometimes we need a reminder about that. Okay, so I find a block here to put this on. And we're going to stamp this in our Orchid Oasis. And then make sure my label's on a smooth surface here. I'm going to stamp this right in the center. Okay, oops. Make sure I'm still in the camera. Okay, then this is going to go on. I'm going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals here on the back. And then I'm going to show you a trick for the ribbon. So I went ahead and put 4 of these on here. Now I'm going to use this beautiful Pool Party ribbon. It's a nice, smooth, kind of satiny ribbon, and I want to make that kind of a fun focal point here in the middle. So I'm actually going to take my Stampin' Seal and just put a couple of swaths, I don't know if you can see that, 2 little stripes of adhesive directly on my card. And then I'm going to take the ribbon here on the spool, and I'm going to start and kind of work at an angle. All right, and make kind of a figure 8 here on my card. So I'm going to weave this back and forth. And the nice thing about putting your adhesive right in the middle there is that it gives you something to stick your ribbon to. All right, so that it stays in place. And then it's going to be hidden behind our sentiment panel there, which is further going to help hold that ribbon in place. So that's okay. Go ahead and put some adhesive directly on your card. Don't be afraid to do that, especially if you're going to cover it up with some other things here. All right, so this I want just off-centered a little bit to the right here. All right, so our colors are, we've got tying in our Orchid Oasis here. We've got a little bit of Pool Party coming in. All right, so it might look just a little plain. So we are going to take our scrap here, and we're going to stamp a pretty little flower. So we're going to pull in our 2-tone Flora set, and I'm going to use, we've got we've got several size flowers. We've got a little cluster of little flowers. We've got a small flower, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to use this little pair down here at the bottom, and we are going to stamp our solid image in Pool Party, and then we're going to do our detailed overlay with the Orchid Oasis. Okay, so we're going to do our Pool Party first. Okay. All right, pretty. And then I'll come in, just moving my blocks here, come in with our Orchid Oasis and line this up. All right, so there's a lot of different ways that you can put it. This doesn't have to be anything super specific. All right, comes out pretty. Adding the detail in there. If you really want to make sure that it lines up a certain way each time, then go ahead and use your Stamparatus. That's perfect for sets like this where you've got your 2-tone. I'm going to stamp a set of leaves as well. So let's put this on here. I kind of thought that was fun doing Orchid Oasis for the leaves. Something a little bit different, but gives it a nice pop of color here. All right, so let me move things out of the way a little bit. I'm going to just use my snips and trim this scrap out. I'll use this for the next card. And then I need my dies that go with this. So I've got the little leaf die. All right, and then we've got our small flower die here. And we are going to run these through our cut and emboss. I'm actually going to use the mini machine. I've got the new boho blue mini machine here with me. This is actually a sneak peek of a new color that will be coming out in May, so that's exciting. And currently right now, the only way to get a boho blue machine, demonstrators, we had the opportunity to purchase this back in December here through early January, but otherwise you can actually get one for just $30 with the purchase of a Stampin' Up! Starter Kit, which is a phenomenal deal right now because you can choose $175 worth of product. $175, that's phenomenal. All right, so you choose $175, and then you can choose your blue or your white boho blue mini machine. And all together, so if you add the machine with it, then your starter kit, you get all of that for $129. You get free shipping. You pay whatever the tax is for your region. But that's a phenomenal deal. So I've got these leaves and the flower here on our plates. The nice thing is it gives you, tells you what you need to use for each plate. All right, so I've just got plate number 1, clear plate number 2, and then again, second clear plate number 2. Put these on top and just gently crank them through. A little snap, crackle, pop, and they shoot out the other side. There we go. All right, so quick and easy, and then look at that. It just takes up like no space at all. So fun. Okay, so I've got our dies. Make sure I don't lose those, so I'll stick them right there. All right, so we're going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back here of our flowers and leaves. Actually, let me trim this one. I feel like it's just a little too fat for my leaves, so we'll just put half on each there. Okay. All right, now we can arrange these here on our card. So we'll stick our flower there, and then we'll tuck our leaves kind of in behind it. Super cute. And then if you want to add some embellishments, we have our iridescent pastel pearls that go with this collection here. All right, so they're fun. They're iridescent. They kind of pick up the color around them, and the colors for those are actually Calypso Coral, Balmy Blue, and like a gold color here. Excuse me. So I'm going to use, I actually think I'm going to use the gold color a little bit. So let's do a little one down here and a little one up here in the center of our flowers. And actually, I kind of like it just like that. Like I said, sweet and simple. Sometimes less is more. We'll let the designer paper again be one of our showcase. Pretty little flower. Isn't that sweet? Hi, Nessa. Hello, hello. All right, so that is our first card. Like I said, sweet and simple with the Fancy Flora collection here. Okay, so I'll just set that one here on the side. All right, so we're going to stick with kind of these greenish colors a little bit. Our next card for this collection is going to use some soft succulent, and then we're going to use, let me show you the pattern that I used for this one. Like I said, I've got these cut into strips here, so many different colors. All right, let me see, which sheet did I use? Actually, this is the one here. Okay, so I used that particular pattern, and then we used this this one, I'm used the Something Fancy bundle. So I used the dies for this. So I used the largest, oops, excuse me here, largest of the label dies to die cut a basic white label. And then I used the middle size that nests inside it. And I die cut a label here from my strip of pattern. So I love this one because it had some Calypso Coral in it, some Petal Pink, the Evergreen, little soft suede. All right, so lots of colors in this one. And then I used this little angled die piece here. It's great for our sentiment label, and it gives me a nice little contrast of color, and so I did that with Petal Pink. All right, so we've got all of our elements here. And then I'm going to use, well, let's go ahead and fold and get some of these elements out of the way, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do next. All right, so like I said, soft succulent, 5.5 by 8.5. Again, I'm going to fold this here at 4 1/4. All right, this time I'm going to use our flower dies, and I'm going to create our own little background. I'm actually drawing some inspiration from the card in the catalog here on page 16. So if you wondered where the inspiration for this particular one came from, then this is it. All right, so we're going to use some of our, we're going to use this other flower stamp and die here, the other size. All right, so let's get those out here. All right, and getting my blocks ready for these. Okay, so with this, we're doing our soft succulent. All right, so we're going to create our own little background. We're actually going to kind of randomly stamp our flowers kind of here and there all over. Remember, our sentiment label is going to go here in the center, so that's why I'm kind of leaving that a little bit empty. Okay, so just kind of doing these here and there all over. All right, and then we're going to take our Evening Evergreen, so we have some contrast here with our detailed piece, and we're going to go right over top of those flowers that we initially stamped. Is that cool? The detail piece definitely gives it some more definition here. All right, pretty. Okay, I'm going to close this for right now so I don't get anything else in my way. All right, so we are going to adhere our Fancy Flora paper to our basic white label. So I'm just going to glue those together flat. All right, and then let's keep this flat too. So go right here in the center. All right, then I've got a little bit of ribbon that I pull in the soft succulent ribbon and kind of do, let's do a little bit of an angled piece here. All right, and again, I'm going to come in with my adhesive, and that way it gives me something to tack my ribbon onto. All right, come on here. Can always trim the ends here when we need to. And then our little sentiment label. So this one needs a skinny little sentiment. So for this one, I'm going to come in and use the congratulations here from my Something Fancy bundle. All right, and we're going to stamp that with Evening Evergreen as well. All right, let's see here. Oh, that came out good. I was thinking that I might have to flip that one and have 2 tries at it, but I love it when that works out and it comes out nice the first time around. All right, so this we're going to pop up with a couple of dimensionals. And then we'll pop this right across the front here. So again, I'm gonna finagle that ribbon just a touch there because it doesn't really want to behave. All right, so that's cute. That looks kind of like the one here on the cover, but I think I want to add a little bit more of a flower. Actually, let's put our basic white piece inside this one as well. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we've got a little bit of scrap here. Let's use the skinnier one. And let's go. I think we've got petal pink and some coral. So I think I want to do that. And then let's use our evergreen for this fancy leaf. All right, so I think we're going to stamp our two tones. Again, I'm going to clean those off so we can stamp them in petal pink and calypso coral. And then we'll do our nice kind of our vine here with the evergreen. Okay, so I can stamp the vine on here first. Let's see, let's go like right like that. Okay, I think just one should do it. All right, and then we're gonna pull in our petal pink and the calypso coral. But let me clean this off first. I got my Stampin' mist in my cleaner here. All right, so we're just gonna clean those real quick. You don't want to transfer ink from one color pad to another, so. All right, so we're gonna come in here and do our petal pink. Let me angle that so you can actually see it. Okay, so we'll do our petal pink first. Okay, and then we'll do some calypso coral. Okay, so pretty. All right, so now that we've got those ready to go, so we're going to need our other small flower die here and our leaves. Okay. All right, so I'll just move that out of the way. Grab our little mini machine again. All right, so again, they're numbered, so we're using plate 1 with clear plate number 2 on top. Then we are going to put on our paper. So we'll line up our leaves, and then we'll line up our die for the flower. Okay, and then we use second clear plate number 2. So put that right on top, give it a good squeeze so they don't move while you run this through with a little crank. Okay, little snap, crackle, pop. There we go. Okay. Oh, they came out perfect. All right. Again, making my dies so I don't lose them. Okay. Now we'll use a couple more dimensionals here. One for our flower. Let's go ahead. Just use a couple of edge pieces here for our leaves. And let's see, one more here. Okay. All right, so we've got everything. Now let's see, how do we want to do this? I kind of like that. Let's do, oh, hey, that works. So we'll just tuck this and kind of under our sentiment label. So the vine is kind of growing up the side. And then we'll pop our little flower right in here. I like that. I really do. Sweet and simple. Let's pull in a couple of our embellishments here. And let's see. Let's go with, I think I'm going to again use some of the smaller ones. And I think I'm going to go with the Calypso Coral just to add a little bit of visual interest here. Kind of fun. All right, we're gonna go crazy. We'll do a couple of these here. All right. Actually, I think I like that. Let's stick with 3. Let's not go too crazy. Sometimes we just have to stop ourselves before we get too carried away. Hi, Wendy. How are you? Let's see here. Terry says sometimes she feels like she's never good with random, either too much, too little. Yeah, so see, we all struggle with that. And sometimes you just have to say, oh, 3 is good. So this one I didn't even use 3, but I have the flower here. So all of our paper elements, everything kind of is in a triangle, kind of rule of thirds here. So we've got 3. We've kind of, with this one, we've got our background, our sentiment, and then our pop-up. So everything still visually is kind of in thirds. So that does help kind of keep things, if you're looking to add more, then if you've kind of got more than 3, then you can need to go up to 5, but to kind of stick at 2 or even more than 5 is usually way too much. So generally just kind of aim for a visual of thirds, and that hopefully will help you a little bit. But like I said, these are my sweet and simple cards with a fancy Flora collection. This again is pages 14 and 15, and then close-ups here on pages 16 and 17 of the mini catalog. A really beautiful collection. They've got it so you can do the whole I want it all, or you can just do bits and pieces of the parts that you want. I was gonna see if I've got some of that designer series papers. Yes, I do. Okay, so if you're wondering here about this iridescent, or excuse me, the fine shimmer, so it's actually a 12 by 12 pack. I've cut it down, but it's like a very shiny, it's a glitter, like a glitter paper, but it's not exactly textured. It's nice and smooth. The back side is white. The front side has that shimmer sparkle, and that comes in soft succulent, fresh freesia. And then we have the gold in there too. So that's really pretty. You get a total of 6 sheets. So 2 12 by 12 sheets of each color here, which is quite pretty. And I do have just a few other cards I'll share with you that I did get in a swap. This one is real pretty. Again, used a 2-inch strip of that designer series paper. That one is from Linda Cullen. Very pretty. Then this one, I believe this was from my team member Sue. Sue, are you on here? Because Sue and her sister Gladys were sitting next to each other at our team event, and I think this was Sue's. All right, then this pulled in some of the gingham paper. Again, we've got our flowers on here. This was from Dina Ricow. All right. Hi, Carolyn. How are you? Now, I love the colors here. This is the Orchid Oasis and the Fresh Freesia. And they actually used that intricate background die as a stencil on this card, which is how we get that neat floral effect on there. Very cool. That is from Leela Menke. I hope I'm saying that right. All right, here's another one. This uses the painted textures embossing folder on the back. Isn't that cool? And this has a little touch of that fine shimmer paper. This is from Mary Coach. So I got a lot of these from a demonstrator swap that I participated in. This one, again, did the combination of the pool party. I think this is Highland Heather, though, but that also goes. So many colors in these. This is from Tracy Filter. So lots of fun cards. And then I'll give you a sneak peek. If you're on my team, then you got my tutorial, my Create With Us tutorial bundle for free. And this is the card that I designed for the tutorial. For the rest of you who are not on my Creative Cardiology team, you can get these tutorials with a $50 purchase, as well as my other tutorials there as well. But it really is a beautiful collection, and whether you go super fancy, as they've shown here in the catalog, or if you stick with sweet and simple like we've done today, they really are, it really is a pretty collection. And the best part is it's celebration. We are 1 month through. Can you believe it? All right, so many fun, gorgeous products that you can get for free. We've got our owls, we've got our carrots, this Dainty Flowers Designer Series paper. In fact, this paper has been so popular, and the bundle that goes with it. Here in the US, the Dainty Delights dies are out of stock until the end of March. We've got Day at the Farm paper, Sending Support Sentiments, the Favored Flowers 12 by 12 paper, In the Country stamp set, Beautifully Happy stamp set, a mega pack Dandy Designs 12 by 12. All right, so these are your options that you can get free with a $50 or $100 purchase. There's no limit, so for every $50, you can choose an additional item, which is pretty awesome. All right, and anybody who still has yet to put an order in for the month of January, I do have a couple of my mini card kits left. So if you order $30 or more by the end of today here, then I will also send you out a mini kit to make each of these 3 cards. All right, so thank you so much, everybody. If you enjoyed today's videos, don't forget to give me that thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Have a great afternoon, and I will be seeing you next month. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.